Okay, everyone, I'm still very sick. I think I'm a little worse for the wear right now. I think I might get pneumonia if I continue down this road. However, I feel like it's necessary to make at least this video. So besides the fact that that person named Frank came looking for me in downtown San Jose, and he knew right where to find me. I was petting some feral kittens, or trying to pet some feral kittens. He knew exactly where to find me, and he was related, or he is related to Clydeen Slager, who's an escort or a courtesan. I don't know if she's still alive or not. It's just difficult to tell. You know, people can pretend to have passed away all the time. They can go into witness protection, so on and so forth. The last time I saw Clydeen, she was as healthy could be. I mean, like, she was maybe what doctors would say is a little overweight or whatever, but other than that, she seemed pretty healthy. So I don't see why she would have passed away, other than if, like, some jerk-off client came after her or something, you know. So yeah, again, Clydeen was an escort slash courtesan or whatever, and definitely advertising on myredbook.com. A girl named Jules told me that. Jules' parents, not coincidentally, of course, went to Stanford, just like my mom, who graduated in 3 years with her degree in math. She tutored NFL Jim Plunkett in English. Anyway, so Jules' parents graduated from Stanford, and definitely not a coincidence. So going back to Clydeen, so Frank and Clydeen supposedly are related to each other. Clydeen's daughter, Brittany, who used to throw stuff at the walls hours on end every day and scream at the top of her lungs, like literally, I'm not kidding at all, I'm not exaggerating. Brittany ended up marrying a friend of myredbook.com, Republican, felon, etc., Eric Nealon, in quotes. Eric Nealon's mother graduated from Stanford. Shelley Nealon or Michelle Nealon, I don't know which she goes by. And she runs Quilted Bliss or something like that out of San Jose, California. So, turns out that, of course, Leslie Johnson from myredbook.com, Republican, felonious, etc., Mountain View High School, 3535 Truman Avenue, Mountain View, California, 94040. Turns out Leslie Johnson knew Clydeen Slager. That's why Frank came looking for me. The fact that he knew that I was in downtown San Jose and that, you know, I was down there petting feral cats, that's interesting. How he knew it was me, like, that points to me being obsessively stalked. Definitely came looking for me. So then I want to return to the witness intimidation arrest in Redwood City. So many moons ago, there was stuff on the internet. Those girls in Redwood City were calling bail bonds people and arranging to have sex with bail bonds people in order to get out and not pay bail. And, you know, the women in the jail there were definitely having sex with each other in the bathroom. I never tried to go in the bathroom and participate or anything like that. I just heard stories about it all the time. So during that time period, there was a girl in the jail with me. And, you know, at the end of my illegal ARREST, she approached me and she was like, you know, just like with Frank and Clydean Slayer, she approached me and she was like, hey, you know, do you need a place to stay once you get out of here? I thought she was kidding. And yet I was curious enough to go kind of check it out. So, you know, I went to where she was living in Redwood Shores, and sure enough, she was an escort or a courtesan, and she was also on myredbook.com, which was removed by the feds in 2014. And like right as I got there, the person she called her boyfriend or whatever, and she was about 5'9", 5'10", brown hair, just a little bit past her shoulders. She was like, or no, she introduced me to this guy who she called her boyfriend. I think he was more like her PIMP, and right away they offered me METH. I declined. That was just at a point where I was like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I think I'm okay to decline right now. Like, I just didn't feel as terrified as I did in the past. And, yeah, so then fast forward, I don't know how long, and she introduces me to someone she called their roommate or housemate or whatever in Redwood Shores. And just like myredbook.com, Republican, felon, rapist, solicitor of rape, solicitor of murder, attempted murder, perjurer, suborner of perjury, solicitor of perjury, libel writer, solicitor of libel writing, slanderer, solicitor of slander, 422 PC, death threat maker, briber, blackmailer, extortionist, kickback receiver, kickback provider, solicitor of black hat hacking, etc., etc. Ex-mafia member Greg Chappell, just like him, her roommate or housemate or whatever he was, would URINETE and DEFECATE all over that townhouse or condo or whatever it was, and would, you know, just especially URINATE and DEFECATE all over the couch. And, you know, she avoided him like the plague, and so did I. Hanging out with her didn't last too long. I think maybe we hung out for a couple weeks or whatever. At some point she was supposed to go to a clean and sober facility, which we know, like, a lot of those people never get clean or sober, and like those places just facilitate more drug and alcohol use, and like they're all about the money, and you know, they could care less about the people there, and people there are just you know, insurance money for the people that run those kinds of places. So yeah, that's another case of something that doesn't make sense unless corrupt judges, corrupt district attorneys, corrupt chiefs of police, corrupt sergeants, corrupt lieutenants, corrupt corrections officers, corrupt bailiffs, corrupt corrections officers, corrupt state police, corrupt FBI, etc., etc. Like, it doesn't make sense unless those people are involved very heavily as well in those kinds of activities. I mean, how did she end up in the same place that I did at the same time that I did? And like the whole thing, my entire life pretty much since I met myredbook.com, Republican, felon, rapist, solicitor of rape, assaulter, solicitor of assault, pimp, slanderer, solicitor of slander, libel writer, solicitor of libel writing, solicitor of blackhat hacking, stalker, solicitor of stalking, perjurer, suborning perjury, solicitor of perjury, kickback receiver, kickback provider, all that. Richard Lionherbert. Ever since I met him, every single person pretty much that I've met in my life has been, affiliated with escort and courtesan sites, and they've all been into, like METH or COCANE, CAINE, whatever. Yeah, it goes all the way back to then. And at that point, I was a child, a juvenile, underage, not an adult. It goes all the way back to then. And the only explanation for that girl in Redwood City is corrupt corrections officers, corrupt bailiffs, corrupt judges, corrupt presiding judges, corrupt chiefs of police, corrupt sergeants, corrupt lieutenants, corrupt captains, corrupt wardens, so on and so forth. That's the only explanation for her. There is something else I wanted to mention about Redwood City, and that is that there was this psychiatrist, supposedly, that I would have put around, literally, I'm not trying to be mean, I just think he really was about 500 or 600 pounds. He was about 5'4" to 5'6", graying curly hair. That dude was RAPING women, at least. He is no different than Ayers at all, except that he was dealing with adults. I don't know if he dealt with juveniles at all. And that place is just a mess. And they had triple bunk beds, which total fire hazard. I think there was some settlement at some point in respect to that, like a class action settlement or something like that. I didn't hear about it until long after that happened, apparently. Yeah, and there were 3 female corrections officers at one point who BEAT the SHIT out of me. And then they went and bragged about it to the female inmates, and the female inmates, on my behalf, wrote them up. And apparently those 3 female corrections officers or whatever ripped up the write-up and threw it in the garbage. And from what I can tell, at least one of those 3 has been terminated, and that was a while back. That one the only reason I remember her at all, other than BEATING, me, and bragging about it, is her last name's really easy to remember, and that is Smith. Unfortunately, she was or is African American, and that has nothing to do with it. Her last name is just really, really, really easy to remember. The other two, one was Caucasian and very heavy set, probably about 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". And I think she dyed her hair blonde. And then the third one, she was either Caucasian or Hispanic and Caucasian, probably. Definitely dark brown hair, not completely dark brown. I'd say about 5'7", very heavy set. Yeah, and the three of them went to town on me and then bragged about it. And there's more. So when I left after being witness intimidated and after obstruction of justice happened, I went to Kinko's one day, and a few of the girls that had been in that dormitory style setting, I guess, were at Kinko's for no apparent reason. And one of them is the reason that I ended up being, you know, BEATEN by those three corrupt deputies or corrections officers or whatever. And all of a sudden she was like trying to be, you know, all friendly and everything. And then one day I was up in San Francisco, and I remember without a doubt one of the girls that was on the phone with one of the people from the bail bond company arranging to have SCX with bail bondsmen, and she was, you know, arranging for other women to have SCX with the bail bondsman instead of, you know, paying bail. And she was one of the girls that bragged about, you know, having SCX in the bathroom and stuff. She was definitely very redheaded, like, if you want to call it that. I know some people don't like that term because it's not really red. And, you know, I'm not even going to say carrot top, even though I just said it, because that's not accurate either. But best way to describe it, very red hair, curly, probably about a quarter of the way past her shoulders, down her back. So I was up in San Francisco, and like everybody else in San Francisco at the time, we all jam-packed onto one of the buses there, because it's just, that's what everybody does. And, you know, there's just so much traffic there and stuff that everybody just piles onto the buses and like jam packs them. And like, I mean, it's like sardines times 10 million when you get on a bus in San Francisco. But anyway, so I was on bus and in San Francisco, and she just happened to be on the same bus at the same day, same time. Like with all the other non-coincidences in my life, I just was like, this is not a coincidence. And I needed to get off anyway at a certain stop, because I was trying to get to like Fry's or Circuit City or something. So I remember like seeing the Circuit City or Fry's or whatever, and just being okay, I need to get off now. But like, she was on the bus with me. That was not a coincidence. Yeah, and so, you know, all the stuff that I've seen and experienced and witnessed and everything, of course, along with everything else I've told you all, this Monday, August 7th, that was total witness intimidation, total illegal witness intimidation, and it was payback. It was payback for, you know, the fact that the girls in Redwood City wrote up the 3, whatever they are, corrections officers or whatever they are, you know, and they just want to pay me back for that. And, you know, all the stuff that I know and I've experienced and I've seen and witnessed and everything, there's no doubt, there is zero doubt at all in my mind that not only are corrupt judges, presiding judges, attorneys, district attorneys, top public defenders, the ones in charge, bailiffs, corrections officers, stenographers, deputies, chiefs of police, captains, lieutenants, sergeants, wardens. Not only are they all involved in things like sites like myredbook.com, they are definitely involved in, you know, the sales and distribution of illegal substances. I mean, or, you know, things that have been illegal in the past or whatnot. And, you know, there's zero doubt in my mind, zero doubt in my mind that pretty much every police officer, judge, district attorney, presiding judge, top person, public defender's office, public defenders, chiefs of police, bailiffs, corrections officers, wardens, lieutenants, sergeants, stenographers, everybody in law enforcement. There's no doubt in my mind, from California to New York, that they all would like to see me murdered and they all like me dead. Every last one of them. They think I know too much. They want me to shut up. They want to keep me quiet. Whatever possible way they can do that, they will do that. You know, bringing illegal charges against me, looking the other way when criminals break my femur, not prosecuting when criminals, you know, bash in my head, that sort of stuff. Whatever they have to do to shut me up, they will do. Period. And in the end, I have no doubt that I will be murdered, and judges, district attorneys, presiding judges, captains, lieutenants, sergeants, deputies, stenographers, meter maids, wardens, etc. will all have participated, and that they will all have just looked the other way and just been like, she was a waste of space anyway. Who cares? You know, when I am murdered, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Nobody's going to care. Nobody will be prosecuted. Just like nobody has been prosecuted for all the crimes they've committed against me. And I've been the one that's been illegally prosecuted to keep me quiet. As a form of witness intimidation, as a form of obstruction of justice. You know, and just to keep me in pain. I mean, the term dying a slow, horrible death didn't come out of nowhere. That's what bashing in my head was about. That was what breaking my femur is about. That's what breaking my elbow and my arm is about, and was about. Slow, horrible death. They want me to live in pain, live in fear. They want to beat the crap out of me. They want to RAPE me. They want to sell me, you know, like Rohypnol, and RAPE me. They want to pimp me. They want to make money off of me. Whatever they can do just to make my life miserable. And, you know, if they can't murder me, they're going to do everything they can to make me want to commit suicide. And that's why I'm ending right now.